Welcome to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Joyous conversations about what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about our one reality. You have nothing to fear. You are eternal and you are perfectly loved. Knowing the truth changes everything. Now, here's Roberta.
Welcome to Seek Reality. I'm Roberta Grimes, and I am just delighted that you can be with us today. Oh, my dear friends, our guest today is a very successful businessman who has a new and an even more successful career as a dynamo of human development. We simply cannot keep up with him. Dennis J. Henson first made his mark in the real estate investment world. In 2003, he founded Vanguard Marketing and Investments, Inc. He also was president of the Arlington Real Estate Investing Association for 2005 to 2018, and he has taught individuals and classes in real estate investing. That's pretty serious, sure, but he wrote also 2 books about real estate investing. The Royal Flush of Real Estate Investing was one, and the second one, he got rich that way. So the second one was A Millionaire's Treasure Map to Real Estate Investing. Pretty exciting. Last year, he was with us on Seek Reality to talk about what was then another book, his latest book called Real Impact, Daily Inspiration. Now, this was a book like, I don't know how thick it was, pretty thick. And Dennis was then very much into helping very successful people in business to develop more spiritually well-rounded lives. And he was speaking on these topics too. I love the book, by the way. It was just, I couldn't put it down, full of wisdom. But now, Dennis J. Henson's latest venture is called Body of Health. I bet he's trademarked that. It's a brand that tells us that how to build around, I'm not sure how to say this, build around a dedicated philosophy of wellness, longevity, and high performance living. And it features a curated selection of insightful articles and health products designed to help people look, feel, and perform at their absolute best for their whole lives. I would say that 3 or 4 times right now, but I don't have time because we want to talk to him. But first, I think we ought to talk to Roberta just for a minute. Now, I share the same birth year as 2 U.S. presidents, Bill Clinton, and this is going to give it away, and Donald Trump.
Wow.
Ours is the oldest baby boomer year, and we are a very big generation. That first year happened and was called the baby boom because we were conceived just as the members of the greatest generation, and they were the greatest generation, were returning from having won World War II. And rock on, boomers! I can guarantee you now, because I'm experiencing it myself, that when my treasured, she was the best mother-in-law on earth. When she was my age, she was right. Finally, I can testify that she was right when she told me when she was that age, and I was 40, and I knew nothing. She told me then that she didn't feel any older than I was then. I didn't believe her for a minute, but now I do. Time flies, and now my oldest daughter is in her 40s. And she refers to herself now as my health Sherpa. And you know what a Sherpa is, right? They're those indigenous guides who take newbies, real newbies, to the top of the Himalayan mountains safely and back again. My daughter now studies what I need. And she manages not just my meds and little pills and little things to put in my food, but she and I ride our bikes together. We go to the gym together 3 times a week. We work out together. And she is my personal trainer, she's in her late 40s now. And we can say with Dennis J. Henson that it's time for us to be managing our health for the rest of however long we're going to may live. Long may he boom too. May he be a boomer as well. Oh my goodness, he's here perfectly timed to add what work he's done to the work that my daughter does for me. So I am welcoming him with a whole heart. Dennis J. Henson, welcome back to Seek Reality, and I am going to listen with every bit of what is in me to what you have to tell to us about how to live long and healthy lives. Welcome, my dear friend.
Well, thank you, Roberta. What an honor to be invited back. And when I saw that it was you, I said, "Oh, that's great. I'm looking forward to that because I enjoyed. We've actually done two before. I enjoyed
Have
each
we
one."
done two? I just had remembered one. Oh my goodness. Welcome back. Double time.
That's right. So thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Very excited about it. Now talk about your new business. What are you doing?
Well, it's a health business. It kind of just developed. It wasn't something that I had planned. Back in 2018, I was doing real estate. I had my real estate group. I was successful. I was having meetings and, working with my employees, and the business was growing. And then all of a sudden, one day, everything on my left side stopped working. I couldn't move my arm. I couldn't move my leg. It felt like my foot had gone to sleep, but it was the whole left side of my body that went to
Oh my
sleep.
goodness.
And so I couldn't walk and I could barely talk. And so then I was admitted into the hospital. And the doctor was telling me different things. And I looked at him and I said, well, at least it's already happened. It's
There it is.
past.
Yeah.
And he looked me in the eye and shook his head and it said, no, you don't understand. This is the beginning. He said, it's not the end. It's in about within the next 3 months, you're probably going to have another one. And then for the next 4 or 5 years, it's just going to be
Oh,
like this. And I thought, what a terrible thing to tell somebody that's sitting in the hospital.
oh my goodness.
And it just, it was like he was trying to tear down my hope. Well, I was really sick and I came home and I couldn't walk. I had another stroke in 3 months, like he said. And in 6 months, I had a big one. And I just kept having these strokes and I lost my eyesight. I couldn't stand up more than 3 seconds. I was in really
You were in trouble. You were falling apart. Well, why didn't they fix it?
Well, they were doing what doctors can do, but medical science is not geared to make people healthy. It's geared to take care of whatever symptoms you have.
Oh,
So I decided that I was going to get well. I thought if I were in business and I have a big problem, in business, you have a lot of big problems, and I don't
yeah.
look at them as problems. I look at them as projects.
Yes.
So I thought, well, I'm going to look at this like a project. And not only am I going to get well, I'm going to get healthy.
Yes.
I'm not going to look like I had a stroke. Like, you see people and you could tell that when they've had a stroke,
Yeah.
a serious one. I'm going to think clearly. I'm going to be able to have conversations with people. I'm going to be able to do my business. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. Now, that's the key right there. Once you decide what you want and you're willing to do whatever it takes to get what you want,
Yep.
you're 90% there.
Yep.
So I started studying and doing things and finding out what is going to take for me to heal and be healthy and feel good and live long.
Bless you, my dear, for doing that for all of us, for every one of us. In the boom generation, we're all going to get healthy now. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I started sharing what I had learned with other people.
Yeah.
And so one of my employees came to me, her name was Wendy, and She said, "Oh, Dennis, my father's in such bad shape. He can't get out of his chair. He can't drive. He can't do anything. We don't expect him to live very much longer." And I said, "Okay, have him do this." And I gave her a list of the things that helped me recuperate from the stroke. So I didn't see her again for maybe 7 months. And she came by the office and I said, "Well, how's your father doing?" She said, "You would not believe it. He's going to Walmart. He's buying things. He's driving. He's fixing things up around the house." And I said, "What happened?" She said, "It was those things you gave him. He immediately started changing, for the better."
Right, right.
So I thought, well, that's amazing. I need to share this with other people. And so,
Yes.
to make a long story short, as I developed a group of people, and we were all interested in getting better. And we
Yeah.
would meet, we'd have dinner, we'd share ideas about rebounding, about nitric oxide, about all of the big things, grounding, the things that were really helping. And I'd learn from them and they would learn from me. And so I thought a better way to share this would be, I think I'll set up a website so that I can write what's happening down and share it with people. I won't charge them anything. It's just, if you go to Facebook, I have 2 Facebook pages called The Body of Health. They're free. And every time I find an article or see a video, I post it on there. And anybody can join, anybody can post. And, if you put something that doesn't have anything to do with health, I take it off. So everything there is very powerful. And it's the newest things that are happening.
Right.
So that grew and grew, but people started saying, "Well, where you get this stuff?" I understand that you need to have a drink called the Fountain of Youth. And that has everything in it that people should, be putting in their body to give it the chance to become healthy and grow and prosper. Well, there's several ingredients in there that are actually pretty hard to find. So I told my secretary, "We have an old Shopify store. How about putting some of these ingredients on there so when people ask, I can just send them there?" That thing grew. It just mushroomed. And maybe every week I'll add 2 or 3 things. I'll say, "Well, this B17 needs to be on there. You can't find it anywhere." And so she will find these things and put them up on the Body of Health. It's called bodyofhealth.live. But now,
And that's the website that they sent me. So that's
yes,
everyone. You don't have to drive off the road. It's part of the footing of this podcast. So you can find it right there. And if you have any questions about this, I think we're going to get quite a few about this podcast. We will answer them because
wonderful.
this is important. Let me stress what I said at the start. At 80, and I will be 80 this year, I don't feel any different. Thank you, Mom, my beautiful I want to call her my grandmother. She's not. She was my mother-in-law, and she's now transitioned at the age of 94 because I'm 80, or about to be. And I have to tell you, I don't feel any different at all than I felt when I was in my 40s. Not at all. And I know you don't either. Nobody does. And
No, I
that's
actually
great.
feel better now
Yes.
than I did before the stroke because it's very unusual. But to be your age and to feel as good as you do, that's not common. It's unusual, but it does not have to be that
It
way.
should be normal because the only reason I feel
Right.
this good is that I have always kept doing the same. I still work,
Mhm.
paid work as an attorney because I always felt that I should be. I'm licensed in 3 states as an attorney. You got a case? I'll take your case. Actually, no. I specifically work for the same businesses I've worked with for the past 30 plus years. I'm on the third generation of some of those businesses. I love them. I treasure them. The love I have for those people is the reason I keep doing that work. I love it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But I also teach about the afterlife. Here's something else I'm sorry to just drop in, but let me just say this. There are people right now listening saying, I thought you were eager to die. Well, and so I am. I know what happens after death in detail. But that doesn't mean I don't love life every bit as much, and I don't want to die any sooner than I should. And the last thing anybody wants to do is to get feeble. I know people my age who are very feeble, and so do you, sir. And that's what you're trying to prevent.
Right. The articles on that website are free. And I put a new article on every week. In fact, I have a radio program. I did a podcast with a person in California who had a radio program, and we talked about the book, Real Impact Daily Inspiration. This is great. Can you come back weekly and let's go through all the stories? So we did a full year. And when it was over, he said, I hate for this to be over. Is there something else? And I said, well, yeah, I have this health website, the Body of Health. And he says, well, let's talk about that. Yeah. So that's a great thing. So every week, this week, I'm talking about lowering blood sugar. And so it helps me learn. If you teach someone else.
That's very true.
You learn. I learned that in real estate. When I had my real estate group, I would teach about short sales and subject to and land trust. And when I announced it, I was not an expert in those things, but by the time we had the meeting, I had to be.
You had to be, that's right.
Because I would get in front of 100 people and I had to make a presentation and answer their questions. So I really learned an awful lot. And I'm doing the same way now with the health. Once you put the word out that you're interested in certain things, those things all happen on your social media. You get videos, you get audios, people send you different emails and different things. So I save them and categorize them. And my ultimate goal is longevity and health. So what good is it to live longer if you are not going to feel good while you're living longer?
The trick that people don't get is that you feel in your mind and in every possible way as if you're so much younger than you actually are. I mean, when my daughter got me going to the gym, oh my God, I was suddenly as frisky as I had been when I was in my 40s. It's just so amazing. I never felt any older at all. I go out there on my bike and I'm scooting all around the neighborhood on a bike. I mean, you can do that. My husband's 86. He doesn't ride a bike anymore, but he goes out and walks every day. He's never used a cane in his life. You don't have to. That's the beauty of all of this, dear.
Exactly.
What you're helping people do is not add time to their old age. You're helping people add time to their productive, exciting peak of life.
Yes.
What people don't get, and you are teaching them that. How beautiful of you to do that.
Well, it's very rewarding, especially when someone comes up and says, my secretary's husband had a stroke. My secretary's been with me for like 24 years.
Yeah.
I hired her when she was a baby.
Well, yeah, of course, yeah.
She's like my daughter, and she got married, and I had a horse ranch. She got married in my horse ranch, and she's just wonderful. I love her husband, but he had a stroke, and I thought, we know what to do. And she said yes, because she had seen me. She'd seen how far down I went, how far back I came. And he immediately started doing these things, and he didn't have another stroke. He got well. He was back at work, and just, in 3 months, when you should have another stroke, he was back at work doing
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
So the things that I learned, they're not secrets, but the problem is they don't realize that there's going to be this big cliff at around age 70 that they're going to fall off. Now, are they going to fall 2,000 feet? Or are they going to fall on a pillow? It's up to them. And what you do when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s is going to determine if you die when you fall off there, or you're really severely hurt, injured, or if it's just going to be like, oh, okay, and you get back up and everything's fine. But you have to prepare because you can't avoid, or they just going to happen.
Yeah, it's and the start of my 70s, I did start to slow down, but my daughter would not allow it. She just wouldn't allow it. She's very close to both of us. She's our oldest child, and she has Asperger's syndrome, which is everybody, which actually turns out my husband has too, which is like a kind of autism, but Elon Musk has it, so it can't be that bad, right? It's just a kind of very peculiar autism that makes people very bright and very eccentric at the same time. And so she saved up enough money to retire when she was 48, I think. And then she concentrated on taking care of her parents in the best possible way, keeping them young. And that's what she's doing in the most productive possible way. It's just wonderful. But everybody can do this. That's the trick. And
That's
I
right.
would never go to the gym at a time because I thought it would be like work. It's not. It's A, fun, and B, you see immediate results. Oh my goodness. I
Right,
mean, by that night, I could do things I could not have done in the morning. It was that quick.
right.
Goodness, it's a miracle.
But it's kind of like my book. If you want to form the habit of reading something positive every day, the book will help you do it. And it's just
Oh yeah,
super
I liked your book
easy.
so much. It was
It's
great.
like falling off a log. Well, it's the same way with your health. There are things you can do. You think, oh, I don't want to exercise. I don't want to
Oh
lift.
yeah, yeah, that was like poison to me
Uh,
before. Yeah.
there are things that you can do that have the same effect that don't require all that massive effort. If you just if you walk 8,500 steps a day, which is about 3 miles, it's not hard.
No,
After
no,
you
that's what
form
my
a habit,
husband does. That's the kind of thing he does. But I like going to the gym. Oh my goodness.
right,
There's all kinds of things. And you push. And what's great, sweetheart, is that the next day you can do more. The very
right.
next day. No one ever told me anything like this about going to the gym. It's like a miracle how your body gets stronger. Your body craves that kind of effort. Your
Right.
body
And
really
the
does.
endorphins kick in after a while. Once the habit's formed and the endorphins kick in, then you don't want to miss it.
No,
Because
no, no. That's
you
right. We
look,
go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I look forward to it.
yeah, you look forward to it because it feels good. It makes you feel good.
It does.
And life is so much fun once you're mature. I mean, it's like we're a perfectly formed tree or fruit or something, and now's the time that we should be enjoying our life and not going to the hospital.
We have to tell all the boomers, guess
Yeah,
what? Life has a whole different gear.
right.
And if you keep this body healthy, you get into that whole new gear. And you have all this bright intelligence and information and excitement and love that you've been building up your whole life long. And you'll have the body to go with it if you get into that next gear.
That's right.
It's
And
so exciting. It's so exciting.
well, with a little bit of research, and you don't even have to do the research, I'll tell you, there are only a few things that are going to kill you, and they're called heart attack, stroke, cancer, diabetes, and a couple of others. So what you want to do is you say, how can I avoid those things?
Yeah.
dementia. How can I avoid that? And it's really pretty simple. You change your diet, your lifestyle, and then those things don't have a chance in your body.
Not till you're close to 100. Then
But
you hit whatever you're supposed to be, your natural time to transition. And guess what? The news about death and the afterlife is all good news anyway. It's
that's
going to be
true.
good news, but do you want to die slowly and drooping in a chair, or do you want to die the way my mother did? She died in her sleep. She told
That's
me. I woke up, I thought I was still alive on the earth because everything looked the same exactly. I was in the same room. They had to finally drag me to the door and say, "All right, look outside. Was this where that house was?" It wasn't. It was suddenly I was in this beautiful valley and it was all, open and beautiful and stuff. It wasn't the same place where the house was before, but until I looked out the windows, I couldn't tell I had died. That's what my mother told me. That's the kind of death you want. You want to go in your sleep. And you can do that if you keep this body healthy and happy. Mostly happy. I
well,
can get out of chairs. Other people can't get out of chairs.
that's right. That's right. I need to come back and talk about the afterlife because my mother died and came back. And so I understand totally exactly what you're talking about. And
No, we're going to do this again. I'm thinking of making you are regular. I mean, we have other people who come back and talk regularly about certain things, and you're the one to talk about this. Staying healthy so you can stay happy. Because this is the best time of your whole life. You've spent your life gathering all of these reasons for joy. And when you finally hit the age of 80, you can be happy like you've never been happy before. It's all good news, and you finally get to enjoy it.
another thing is, not only is it not hard, it's kind of fun. You know,
That's
and
it.
when I got back from the hospital after my second stroke, they gave me a diet of food that I could eat. And I looked at my wife and I said, if I'm going to have to eat this for the rest of my life, this
Yeah,
terrible
let's make it as
salt,
short as possible, right?
I'm not sure I want to live in it, with this. Now I eat like a king. I mean, my wife puts things in front of me every day that's so delicious
Yeah, I eat
and,
a lot of meat now, which I didn't before.
and it's healthy.
Oh,
Super,
that's right. That's right. My
super.
daughter makes me eat a lot of meat because apparently that builds muscle, and I'm building muscle now. I can pick up and turn bottles and things that I never could do before. Oh, please, Dennis, this is the best time of my life.
Well, everybody can do it. Um,
Right. If I could do it, believe me.
okay.
But you got to have a health Sherpa like my daughter, because if you have that, someone who loves you and is trying to make you
That's
have, this is the
right.
best of my life now. That's what she wants from me. If you have someone who's, in their 40s or 50s who wants you to have the best time of their life, then you truly are happy. I mean,
Exactly.
really.
Well, that's what the nurses told me when I was in the hospital. They said, you got something that most other people don't have, and that's a support system because my wife would not leave my side. I
Yeah.
was in the hospital, for weeks, and she just would not leave. She was right
Yeah.
there. And
That's how
that's
that's how
me.
my daughter is too.
You
Yeah.
need someone, you need to be in connection with people. Don't have to be a daughter or a son you just need to be connected with people that you love that love you. That is one of the major things in
I
living
still have
long.
my husband too, although because he's 86, we're taking care of him too. But neither of us, thank you God, is in a cancer family. And that's what I think of them as. There are some families that are prone to cancer, and you've got to be really careful to make sure that it gets caught early if you happen to have cancer in your family. Neither of us seems to have cancer in our family. So,
Well,
really,
there are things now, holistic things that if you have cancer, you can make a big, well, let me just Explain.
It's
I mean,
it's harder to have a problem with cancer than it ever was. It's easier to fight it than it
yeah,
ever was, and that's a very good piece of news.
right. There's supplements and things that you can do. And I'm not a medical doctor. I just tell you what I've seen.
You play
And
one on TV pretty well, though.
so when I came out of the hospital, they sent me to a specialist who told me that I had blockage in my arteries and that I probably didn't have very long. Unless I had an operation, I probably wasn't going to make it. And that's when I decided, I said, can you reverse the blockage? And they said, well, no, that's not possible. And I thought,
It is, though, now. It is.
you just think it's not possible. So my wife's from Mexico. We would go to Mexico and get sonograms. Every 3 months, we would go get a sonogram. And my goal was that the next time I went, the blockage was going to be less than the last time. So I was at the doctor and he was doing the sonogram and he looked over to his assistant and he said, is this the right file? And she said, yes. She said, this is not right. It can't be because the last time he was here, the blockage was like 80% and now it's like 63. And you can't reverse it that fast. It can't be done. Well, it turned out it was the right file. And the things that I was doing was reversing the blockage. The blockage was still there. I had just figured out a way to increase the
That's lovely.
size of the veins and arteries so that it was no longer blocked. The blood was getting through and my brain was recuperating. And, you know, once you have a stroke, the second you start having a stroke, you start losing brain cells and they have memories and you can never get those back. But your body's an amazing thing. It has backup systems. Just because you lost, it's like losing a flash drive, but you've got a backup in another
Yeah,
flash drive.
yeah.
So you just have to learn how to access the things you lost, and you'll end up being smarter than you were before.
It's
Because,
true. It's really true. All
yeah,
of that is true.
yeah.
I had a different experience. A couple of years ago, I started feeling a little more sluggish. And so we decided I should just, go to a cardiologist. And I had whatever test they do. And I got a call from the doctor himself that night. My husband is a retired doctor. And he said, don't eat anything after midnight. Go to Heart Hospital of Austin. We live in Austin, and be there at 7 in the morning. Didn't even tell me why. I had just an incipient block in one artery,
Mm.
my heart. They, I didn't even know I was having an operation because they go in through your leg. They
Yeah.
don't open your chest. And I didn't even know I was having an operation. They were playing a video game on the wall. And my doctor and this cardiologist surgeon, and it just took 15 minutes or something. And then when the surgeon came over to talk to me, he said they didn't even do anesthesia, anything. He said, I said, well, when are they going to get started? And he laughed. He thought I was being ridiculous. He said, let me show you something. And he showed me two pictures on his phone. And the first one was before, and there was a block in one of my arteries. The second one was after. They had pushed the block out, and my heart was perfect. This was 2 years ago. And I was so excited, and 20 years again, 20 years younger, 30 years younger.
Right.
And so that's what they did for me. They didn't even have to open my heart or anything. It was just so amazing. They just go in through the artery in your leg and go into your heart and push it out. And they do that on a video screen above the bed. It's so amazing. And so now, if ever that happens to me again, they'll just go in there through my leg and push it out again. But I don't know. They haven't, they say I'm still perfectly whatever.
Well, I
Fortunately, I
can,
didn't get to the point of a stroke. That I'm sorry you had that happen to you.
no, uh,
But
what you're saying though can be avoided. and it's
Well, I
called.
didn't care either way. I didn't care because it was so trivial. That's the wonder of medicine. You can show people how to avoid any problems at all if they only
Right.
start doing it young enough. If I had started in my 40s or 50s, I wouldn't even have had that. As it is now, eating properly, exercising properly, going to the marvelous gym experience, which I never knew before what a wonderful thing it is, all of that put together, you can be healthy forever.
Right.
And
Well,
that's what we want to do now. We want to be healthy forever. And then when you hit 100 or some, whatever age is your oldest age, great. In your sleep, you can happily transition, get on your horse, which will come to your bedside, your beloved horse. And my spirit guide tells me that my horse will be at my bedside, and I'll know then that it's time to go home. My spirit body will just get out of my regular awful old body. I'll get on my horse and go home. That's what we've planned for me. I look forward to that so much, dear. Oh my goodness. Seeing my horse again, getting on him again.
well, that's such a good. It's good to know that and have that feeling because one of the worst things that you can do is worry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if
Especially when
you
there's nothing to worry about, darling. Nothing.
exactly. And so many people go through life and they let negative thoughts and feelings destroy their health.
Oh, and destroy their happiness.
Right. And
So what
so
to be
if you're
joyful
not,
about?
if you don't fear getting old and you don't fear death and you don't, those are really good things to
Yeah.
make you more healthy and and live longer and prolong your time here.
But you want to prolong it feeling good and
Right.
frisky and with a spring in your step and joy in your heart and love in your heart for everybody around you.
Exactly.
Because all of these people, oh, I could tear up. All of the people around you are really saints in disguise. They're really angels in disguise. And they'll love you right back if you love them. That's the beauty of it. Everybody is just a saint in disguise. It's so you must be meeting so many people now that you're doing this wonderful work.
I'm meeting some very, like I'm meeting a lot of people who have successful podcasts and people who have radio programs. I really enjoy the radio programs because I hit so many people and we can discuss things that people are experiencing, like cancer, high blood sugar, high blood pressure, a stroke, heart attack. So you can take each one of these things and say, if you do this, if you eat this, if you drink this, then those things will either start getting better or you'll avoid them altogether. And
Yeah.
it's a great feeling to be able to share that information.
Yeah, maybe we used to be live and it was so much pressure on me because this way, when I say something stupid, I can always say, Sam, take that out to our wonderful engineer, and he does that. And that's always really good.
Well, the radio programs I do, we record them ahead of time and they can be edited. So
That's true. Yeah,
they're,
they can do all
they're
kinds of
radio.
things now.
The only difference in the radio and the podcast is just the audience. That's the only
Yeah,
difference.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I really enjoy those and I enjoy the people,
yeah. I do
I've
too.
learned to like them very much. Some of them are especially close friends.
Yeah. But this and your instinct is so good because your previous book was all about giving people wonderful things to read that you had found so that they could expand their hearts, expand their minds, expand how they were living, which I thought was beautiful. I mean, a lot of things in that book were really beautiful for people to just think about, to the great thoughts of humankind throughout history kinds of things are beautiful, beautiful for people to read. It was wonderful.
Well, I had it. It was fun to write it, and it was done with a lot of feeling. I sincerely, if you read it, you can tell I actually wrote it to make life better for the people who read the book. And if it's done the way it was outlined, if they form the habit of reading something positive every day that moves them in the direction that they hope to be going, it will have a tremendous impact on their life. And that's good to know that you're changing people's lives.
Yes. These business people, I mean, those are the people I've worked with in my professional career my whole life. I've never gone to court. I always refer those cases, but instead, I've always worked with business owners, and I know the kind of people that they are. And you don't stay in business very long if you're not a nice person, because then you just can't make deals. You can't work with other people. They won't trust you enough to work with you.
Right.
So these are all good people. Many of them are religious people too. Even if they don't spread it, they live it. And that's why I sort of stayed with some of those businesses 20, 30 years and more. I loved the people. The people were so beautiful. And that's why that kind of would have resonated with a lot of them, I think. Those to read something like that in the morning would really set you up for your day. I can see that's true. Quite beautiful. I really right. We'll put the title of that book in the notes as
Thank
well
you.
from this and say, hey, this is something useful to read if you need something to start your day off right. Quite a beautiful book.
Well, if your goal is to become healthy and you want to read something every day that moves you toward your goal, you can go to the bodyofhealth.life and click on great articles, and it's unending. There's
Yeah,
articles about everything. And
right.
if you're interested in something, there's not an article there. All you have to do is just go to contact us and say, I would like to see an article about this. And the next radio program will be on that. The article will show up and you can learn and share.
It's wonderful to read to live a life of giving. If that's what your life is, just finding ever more ways to give, that's a beautiful life.
I agree.
I mean, that's really what, in various ways, all of us are feeling internally called to do. And some of us really fight that.
Well,
But in the end, how can you fight it? I mean, over and over again, the opportunity has presented itself to more and more people, not to give money, but to give
right.
their lives, to
Well,
give
it's like
what we
it's like
have to give.
planting seeds. You know, the more you help other people, the more you're helped. That's nature. You plant a seed, you get 1,000 seeds back. You help someone, you get a lot of help back. So
Yeah.
you don't have to think of it that way. I guess that would be thinking of it selfishly, but
Uh,
I just enjoy helping people. So I get the benefits of something that's I already enjoy.
yeah. And every time I get an email from someone who says that I have brought them closer to Jesus, or I have helped them to be less afraid of death or something, that always makes my day. And I get those just about every day. So I think I'm a junkie now for that kind of, to get that kind of feedback from people. I love the fact that I can help in that little way. But we're coming close to the end of our time. What do you want people most to take away from what we've talked about today?
The thing I would like to share most is regardless of your age, you can become healthier. And the younger you start, it's kind of like saving money. If you start saving money when you're in your teens and you do it consistently, you have a lot of money by the time you're our age.
Oh
It's,
yeah.
it's the same way with your health. If you start learning about health and doing the things that make you healthy, you're going to live a lot longer, you're going to feel a lot better, and your life is going to be a lot more pleasant. Now, if you're already in your 70s or 80s or even 90s and you're not able to do the things you want to do, you can change that.
Yes.
You're never too old. The only thing that matters is now. So, if your health is a problem, make it a goal to make it better.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is to form the habit of reading something positive every day that does that. That's why I'm here and I don't look like I've had a stroke and my mind is clear because I made that goal. And every day I move toward the goal. And you can do it too. Anyone can.
Yes, anyone can. And you're meant to do that. Your body, I don't care how old you are, your body is meant to be active every day. It's meant
Exactly.
to be doing things. If you think that you don't have the balance anymore to ride a bicycle, I ride a tricycle. I do. They make trikes for people who don't have the balance. And it isn't that I don't have the balance. I could ride a bicycle, but I've decided that the tricycle is better because I don't want to fall.
Right.
So,
An
and I
easy.
ride that tricycle like it was a motorcycle. Get out of my way because I go fast. No, really, I'm serious.
Well, that's great. A,
Yeah.
a super easy and super healthy thing to do is get a rebounder. It's one of the most positive things you can do for your health is jumping up and down because
Okay.
the lymphatic fluid in your body, there's more lymphatic fluid than there is blood. Your blood has a pump. That's your heart. It stops working, you die. Well, the lymphatic fluid has to move too because it's your sewer system. It takes all of the bad things out of your body to your kidney and to your digestive system. If you don't jump up and down or move, then that lymphatic fluid doesn't move and it collects bad stuff.
That's
And
better.
that's where your cancer and your heart attack and your stroke and your,
Send me a picture of whatever it is, and I'll get one of those too.
okay, it's just a little round trampoline and you just get on it and move up and down. So simple. So simple.
Okay, just send me a picture of it. I'll do that too.
Okay.
It's like fun. I mean, it sounds like fun. Yeah.
Well, and if you go to bodyofhealth.life, there's one there.
Okay. All right. I'll
It's
get.
just like everything you talk about, everything we talk about, somebody says, well, where do you get saffron? Well, it's not easy. Well, just go to the website. It is easy. Yeah.
This is fun. This is great. Well, I just have to tell everybody who our guest will be next week. So I'll be right back. You don't go anywhere. Be right back. Oh my goodness. That was really fun. And as I said again, his website is in the sort of the bottom of the little blurb at the bottom of our episode today. So if you want to go, and I would strongly recommend go and look around, see what you can find that will make your getting very healthy even more fun. My dearly beloved friends, we've come to the end of our brief time together each week, but we'll be back next week. And meanwhile, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. I'm very glad you could be with us today. Very healthy to be with us today. Please never forget that you are a powerful, eternal being. You never began and you never will end. And when you really get what that means, that plain and simple fact, the fact that you are eternal, it's going to change everything in your present life for the better. Now, next week, our guest will be our dear friend from just across the United States border, Carolyn Molnar. She'll be with us for the eighth time, and actually that was the third time for our wonderful friend Dennis, so I've got to correct my notes on that. Carolyn Molnar will be with us, as I say, for the eighth time, and she is a lovely, gentle friend who is concerned about the way things are going in the world, and she is one of those worldwide rarities. She is a naturally talented medium. Try to be with us next week if you can, because this is always a lovely and a lively conversation. And today our guest has been Dennis J. Henson. He's been with us for the second time, but a third time, but it won't be our last because I think he's going to be one of our experts here. Dennis started out in life as a very successful businessman, but he's now so much, much, much more than that. He's written several books, but most of all, I think he has figured out how to help this boomer generation, which is just now reaching the age of 80, helping us all to learn how to be at the peak of health for every day of the rest of our lives. And this is critical. I don't care how long you live. If you are not at the peak of health and the peak of human joy, then you have wasted all that time in your life. Now is the time to be perfectly healthy, perfectly fit, and perfectly joyful, because you have earned it, my dear friends, and it's right there in front of you. You can grab it. If you're a little deficient in love of Jesus, perhaps, or in joy in some way, then just talk to Dennis, talk to me. Between us, we'll help you get there. And we'll help you get there very, very happily. So I say amen to everything that he said to you today, and just turn to both of us. I promise you, we will help you get there. And now I'm sorry, it's the end of our time together today, but I'm going to talk to him just a little bit more. I'm very excited about the possibilities. And meanwhile, this has been Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Please enjoy, please make the most of this coming week in our One Reality, always knowing that you are a powerful, eternal being, and you, most of all in this entire universe, you, in particular, are infinitely, eternally, perfectly, and forever loved.
You've been listening to Seek Reality with Roberta Grimes. Roberta blogs and answers questions at robertagrimes.com. Join us every week as we explore what the afterlife evidence and modern science combine to tell us is true about the one reality we all share. Knowing the truth changes everything.